Hi guys, welcome to the Yoga for Flexibility routine. My name is Sarah Beth, and before we begin, I highly suggest that you use some kind of warm-up, like my basic yoga warm-up, before starting. If you have a block, you might need that during today's practice, although it's not necessary. Let's begin in extended child's pose, with your knees wide, forehead resting on the mat. Completely relax. Breathing in and out through your nose, make your way back to downward facing dog. Then inhale to look up to your hands, bend your knees. As you exhale, step your feet to touch at the top of your mat. Find halfway lift, slide your hands up your shins, big breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Now sit back into a chair pose. Sit your hips back as if someone was scooting a chair in behind you. Press your inner thighs together, press your knees together so that your base is strong. And if you look down, you can just barely see your toes past your knees. Shoulders are soft, arms are strong. From here, inhale, then exhale to airplane the arms as if you were going to graze the mat with your fingers, palms face down behind you, shoulders roll open, sitting deep into your hips. If you want to add a challenge, then lift up onto the ball mounts of your feet. Reverse the airplane of your arms as you stand up into a mountain pose, and at the same time, lift your left knee up. Bring your left thigh parallel to the ground as you do so it's one-legged mountain pose. Because this is a balancing posture, set your gaze on a non-moving spot out in front of you to remove any distraction. Stay focused. Then to set up a figure four, place your left ankle on your right knee as you sit back into your hips, resembling that chair pose. But this time, you will feel a lot of sensation in your left hip as it opens, and a little bit of a fire in your right hip as you build heat, essential for deeper openings to come. Now come back to your one-legged mountain pose, left knee lifting up, and then airplane your arms and extend your left heel back for a full airplane pose. Heart pulls forward, lengthen through the crown of your head as you drive back through your heel, roll your shoulders open. Keep your gaze set on that non-moving spot. 3, you'll slowly step back in 2 for a crescent lunge. 1, step your left foot back and reach your arms up overhead. Well done. Now sink a little bit deeper into your hips than you normally would, so your right thigh is parallel with the mat. Remember, the fire you're feeling, that's good. Just listen to your body and back out if it's a little bit too hot. Extend through your back heel. Reach up through your fingertips, but keep your shoulders soft. Pull your lower abs in, and you should feel that opening through your left hip flexor. Feel free to add a side bend or not. Just breathe. 3, 2, 1. Open up into Warrior 2. Spin your back heel down, hips open up. Make sure that your right knee is still tracking open so it doesn't cave in. From here, arms are reaching front and back, but your shoulders are relaxed, arms are strong, and your lower belly is pulling in so that your core is tight. For reverse triangle, straighten out your right leg and reach your right arm high. Just don't lock your right knee, so there's a tiny little bend there. You have control over that joint. For a triangle pose, reach your right arm towards the front of your mat as you hinge from your hips, and then when you can't go any further, just lower your right arm down, reach your left arm high. This is a great place to use a block or even just place your hand on your shin. Do your best to stay spiraling open. And if you want to add a fun variation to this pose, take your left hand behind your head and lengthen through your left elbow as you spiral open and reach up. Using your strong core, slowly rise. Take your hands to your hips and square your hips off to the front of your mat. Step your back foot in, so there's maybe 3 or 4 feet between your ankles. Then inhale to lengthen out of your hips, and exhale to hinge from your hips over your front leg. Release your hands to support you. Relax the muscles in your upper body. Find the breath that serves you, and find the depth you're comfortable in within this intense pose. Now plant your left hand on the mat, on fingertips or on your block, and reach your right arm up to the ceiling, stacking your shoulders. This is a revolved pyramid. Chances are your hips got a little bit wonky here, so take your top hand to your lower back and just readjust so that your hips are still squared off to the front of your mat. Then gently release, placing both hands down onto the mat. Launch your back leg up into a standing splits. With the crown of your head driving down to the mat and your left leg somewhere up towards the ceiling, shift your weight forward just slightly into the ball mount of your right foot. If you need help with balance, find your drishti, set your gaze on that one non-moving spot, and breathe into your right hamstring and your left hip. Slowly bend both knees as if you were going into a Shiva squat. Then take a seat on your mat on your left hip for cow-facing legs. Cross your legs nice and tight, left knee under, right knee over, ankles on opposite sides. And shimmy your hips so that both hips are grounded down evenly into the mat. Sit up tall, then reach your arms forward for eagle arms. Cross right under left, bend at the elbows, then cross again at the wrists. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Relax your hips down onto the mat. And feel free to stay still, focusing on your breath, relaxing any tension that might creep up. Or feel free to add a little bit of movement, like lifting and lowering your elbows. Then slowly unravel your arms, and for cow face arms, reach your right arm up and behind, left arm down and behind, as if you were trying to touch your fingers together behind your back. And you're always welcome to dangle a strap from your right hand for your left hand to grab onto. Most important, wherever you are, is that your chin stays lifted and you sit up tall. Then gently release. Plant your hands behind you, unravel your legs and plant your feet out in front of you, and lift up into a reverse tabletop. Do your best to get your hips in line with your knees and shoulders. Knees pressing forward. The whole back line of your body is engaged and strong. And you can lower your head back if that feels good, otherwise keep your chin tucked. And take a deep breath in and out, appreciating any and all sensation. Then lower your hips back down. Cross over your ankles to plant your hands, step your knees back into a traditional tabletop. Then walk your hands forward for a puppy dog pose. Melt your chest down to the mat, but keep your hips above your knees. And you're welcome to rest your forehead or your chin on the mat, but breathe into the opening of this deep back bend. Three, 2, 1. Then gently walk your hands back. Sink your hips towards your heels and find a traditional child's pose with your forehead down on the mat, arms down by your sides, palms facing up. Giving your body a chance to reset. Find your smooth, controlled breath. When you're ready, make your way back to downward facing dog. Reach your hips high and back. Then inhale, look up to your hands, bend your knees. Exhale, step your feet to touch at the top of your mat. For halfway lift, inhale, find a nice long flat back. Then exhale, forward fold. Sit back into your chair pose. With strong legs pressing together, sit deep into your hips, increasing the heat, the blood flow to your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale to airplane your arms. Shoulders roll open, and if you did on the other side, lift up to the ball mounts of your feet. Great. Lower your heels back down. Inhale to a one-legged mountain pose. Right knee lifts. Right thigh parallel to your mat. Set your gaze on one spot, your drishti. And then set up your figure four. Right ankle to your left knee as you sit back into your hips. Feel free to take your hands together at heart center if that helps with balance here too. Your breath keeps you stable, smooth and deep, in and out through your nose. You're here for 3. Sit a little bit deeper. 2. And 1. Inhale back to your one-legged mountain pose. Nice and slow as you exhale, hinge into a full airplane pose. Drive your right heel back. Grow tall through the crown of your head. Gaze is set. Breath is smooth. 3. Slowly stepping back in 2 with control. 1. Crescent lunge. Land gently on your back foot as you reach your arms overhead, and even here, drive through your back heel as you lengthen up and out through your hips. Lower belly is engaged. Shoulders are soft. If you did so on the other side, add a little bit of a side bend. Otherwise, just breathe here, settle in, maybe sink a little bit deeper into your hips. Next is Warrior 2. Spin your back heel down as you open up through your hips, left knee still tracking open. Even here in this warrior posture, keep your whole core engaged. This is a power pose, and the power comes from your core. For reverse triangle, straighten out your left leg and reach your left arm high. Lengthen through your whole left side body. Big inhale. Then exhale, hinge at your hips for triangle pose. Reach your left arm towards the front of your mat and then lower your left arm down, right arm high. Find the place where you can maintain a slight engagement in your left knee so you're not resting in a locked joint. If you did so on the other side, take your right hand behind your head and then reach up through your right elbow. I find that this allows me to really lengthen through my right side body and open up through the chest. Find your breath and how it connects the sensation wherever you are. Now slowly rise. Take your hands to your hips and turn your hips towards the front of your mat. Step your back foot in for a shorter stance for pyramid pose. Now with your hips squared off to the front of your mat, inhale, lengthen your spine. Then exhale, hinge at your hips, folding over your left leg. As intense as a posture like this is, Find the range of sensation that you can practice within today so that you can still be relaxed. You can still breathe. Adding on for revolved pyramid, right hand down on the mat or on your block. Reach your left arm high. And again, it helps. Place your left hand to your lower back and readjust your hips so that your hips are still squared off to the top of your mat. Three, two, one. Lower your left arm down and launch into standing splits. Using your hands to support you, your right leg reaches somewhere up there. Most important is that you are in the standing splits, whatever that looks like today. Crown of your head drives down towards the mat. Shift your weight forward just a little bit into the ball mount of your left foot. Even here, your inhales lengthen, exhales deepen. And then bend both knees, taking a seat on your right hip for cow legs. Cross your legs nice and tight so your knees are stacked. Ankles on opposite sides of your hips. And then again, shimmy around so that both hips now are flat on the ground or on your block. Make sure you're not tensing up through your hips. Relax. Settle into place. And then add your eagle arms. Reach your arms forward. Cross your left arm underneath your right. Bend at the elbows. Cross again at the wrists. Lower your shoulders away from your ears. Then stay still or move. Most important is that you breathe. Then unravel your arms, setting up for cow-facing arms. Reach your left arm up and behind, right arm down and behind. Work on clasping your fingers together or even use a strap between your hands. This side might feel totally different or it might feel the same. Either way, keep your chin up, chest open, and hips relaxed. For just a few deep breaths, stay tall and ground down. Release your hands. And then plant your hands behind you, unravel your legs, plant your feet in front of you, and lift your hips up into reverse tabletop. Hips come in line with your shoulders and your knees. Then lower your hips back down, roll over your ankles, make your way into a traditional tabletop on your hands and knees, then walk your hands forward for puppy dog once more. Lower your chest down to the mat, but this time, when you come down into your puppy dog, interlace your hands towards each other and then interlace your fingers. Bend at the elbows to bring your thumbs to touch the back of your neck. That is intense. Breathe. Allow yourself to sink into your shoulders. Gently release. Make your way back to a traditional child's pose. Sink your hips towards your heels, arms down by your sides so they can get some blood flow. Relax. And that's it for our Yoga for Flexibility routine. If you like that and you want more, make sure you check out my Yoga for Flexibility full-length class, available now on my website. I'll have the link in the description. Thanks for watching.